It's the beginning of spring and a new semester is starting. Our protagonist finds himself in a new class, and today is the first day of school. Right next to him sits a girl who's both dangerous and famous. Her reputation precedes her. As the teacher asks everyone to settle down, he can't help but notice her striking appearance. Red eyes with dark circles, doll-like skin, unusually red lips, and an expression that seems trapped between anger and sadness. Everything about her screams danger. He's only ever heard rumors about her and has never actually interacted with her. They seem to come from different worlds. Our protagonist, who's never talked to a girl before, is simple, unremarkable, and not stylish at all. He's a second-year high school student named Karuki. The only things he knows about her come from what others have whispered. Then he hears someone call her name. Chihara. A few classmates start gossiping about her, saying she's really pretty but also kind of dangerous. The boy mentions she's bipolar and has all these restrictions, and that it wouldn't be good if she noticed them. The girl chimes in, saying her friend finds Chihara scary. The boy agrees, calling her a danger. Karuki realizes that she seems to be quite popular, yet feared at the same time, and he can't help but notice how much she talks about her every day. Despite this, he can't even imagine ever interacting with her. But suddenly he feels her gaze on him. She's looking directly at him. He panics a little, wondering if she didn't like him staring at her for too long. Did he make her mad? He thinks about the power of a pretty girl's stare and wonders what to do. Running away barefoot feels like a better option than dealing with this. He apologizes mentally to his mom for being useless so soon. Should he apologize to Chihara, but without directly addressing her? He realizes she's still staring, and they're literally facing each other. What should he do? He tells himself not to weaken. She's not going to take his life, right? He notices how close she is and finds himself staring again. His biggest obstacle now is that there's nowhere else to look. Without meaning to, his eyes drop, and he sees them. Yes, them. He wonders how things ended up like this. Unsure of what she wants from him, he suspects it might be a prank or a new way to bully him. Slowly it becomes clear that the rumors were about her, not him. Still, he wonders if she's actually noticing him. Is he in trouble? Is this what it's like dealing with dangerous girls? A wave of panic washes over him, and he wishes he could just hold someone's hand. Unsure of how to respond, he notices that she's still staring at him, though at least she's blinking. Finally, he decides to call her, but she surprises him by grabbing his face and whispering in his ear. She asks if she can take a look at his notebook. Confused, he decides to hand over his math notebook too. Now she's even closer to him. She looks a bit confused but thanks him anyway, and he can feel his back soaked from how close she was. He's still wondering if she's as dangerous as all the rumors say, realizing he doesn't really know much about her at all. She pulls out a notebook and hands it over, calling it a thank you gift. He takes it and realizes he's holding the history notebook instead. The teacher announces they're diving into trigonometric functions today, but Kuroki is distracted, thinking she might actually be kind of interesting. Suddenly, the teacher asks him to solve a problem on page 15, but he admits he doesn't have a clue and only knows random facts about the Edo shogunate, which just leaves the teacher speechless. Time ticks on, and he notices the girl has fallen asleep, but even her sleeping face looks a bit intimidating. He stares at her feeling all sorts of emotions, surprised, confused, and just a bit uncomfortable, trying to figure out what her deal is. He notices her laughing while glancing at her wrist. Other students gossip nearby, speculating about her behavior. They mention how she looked at her wrist and smiled, expressing their belief that she might be in trouble. They even suggest that Chihara-san seems to have a dangerous, unsettling presence, hinting at a dark side to her personality. Hearing this, he finds himself confused, reflecting on how Chihara indeed fits the image of someone with such traits. Her appearance aligns with the type of behavior they describe, making it easy to imagine her engaging in such actions. After class, he arrives drenched in sweat, visibly nervous as she approaches him. She pulls out a packet and extends it towards him. He notices she is offering him some gum. He ends up stuck in an awkward mental battle. Part of him finds her strangely fascinating, but another part is worried about what accepting the gum might mean. The idea of an indirect kiss makes him a little uneasy, but he also wonders if he should be excited since this is a first for him. Eventually, he decides to take the gum. figuring he doesn't want to seem rude or hurt her feelings, even if he has no clue what's going on. Better not to overthink it. He chews on a piece and mentions it tastes just like the gum he used to get in those small boxes, and it brings back good memories. She laughs, which he finds a little creepy, but she offers him the rest of the pack. As she turns away, she says she'll see him tomorrow. He nods, thinking she's actually kind of interesting. The next day, he sees her scribbling on her wrist with a marker. Looks like she's got a bucket list for the new semester. Say hi to someone and make friends with the guy next to her. So far, she's only managed to do the second one. Despite not understanding her at all, our hero got closer to the infamous dangerous girl sitting next to him. After class, he's in the bathroom, thinking about how fast everything's moving and how weird it all feels. He's not used to people with intense vibes, always feeling like they dislike him for no reason, but Chihara-san was definitely more than she seemed. As Kuroki steps out of the bathroom, he sees her standing right there. She casually greets him, and he asks what's up. She says she saw him and thought they could walk home together since she was waiting for him. He's shocked to learn that she was waiting outside the men's bathroom. He finally snaps back to reality, noticing she looks a bit surprised, too. It takes him a moment to realize what's going on. He's just not used to seeing her this happy, and it caught him off guard. He asked if she really wants to go home with him, and after his initial panic, a whirlwind of emotions rushes through him. He's the kind of guy who speaks his mind without much thought for the other person's feelings, so he's genuinely curious why she looks surprised. She starts to tremble and pulls away a bit, but he's feeling unexpectedly confident and asks if she's taking the train. When she responds with yes, he suggests they head to the station together. She seems delighted and relieved, her palm pressing against her face. Maybe she's not as scary as he first thought. As they begin walking, he casually asks if she knows how to ride a bike since many people bike to the station. She admits she doesn't, and surprisingly he doesn't know how to ride one either. They end up joking around like they're already friends, and she holds back a laugh, amused by their mutual cluelessness. He feels a bit stunned, not expecting that reaction from her. On their way home, Kuroki finds himself at a loss for words. The silence feels heavy, and he starts to worry that he needs to find a way to break it. But her expression is intense, almost angry-looking, which makes him nervous, like he's on the verge of panicking. He fears his plan to lighten the mood is failing miserably. She suddenly says she's looking at a cat's big butt, and he turns to see what she's talking about. It turns out that it's just a decoration for Manju's Japanese bakery. She comments that the two cats look like they're stacked on top of each other like best buddies. He's a bit confused and asks if her eyes are okay. She admits she's wearing colored contact lenses and adds that they're not exactly the highest quality. He offers her his glasses, the ones he uses when he can't see the small print on the blackboard. She tries on the glasses and seems to realize what she was actually looking at. When she hands them back, there's a faint blush on her cheeks. Kuroki admits he also had trouble seeing the decoration at first. She quickly tells him to forget what just happened, and he responds with an awkward apology. As she turns her back and continues walking, he suddenly realizes she's actually kind of cute. He slaps himself twice in the face, trying not to be an idiot, then catches up to her, asking if she likes cats. She doesn't answer and just repeats for him to forget what happened. He agrees, saying she's right. When they arrive at the station, he tells her he's heading to lane 4. As she's about to say goodbye, she stops him, rummages through her bag, and pulls out a marker, asking him to extend his arm. He's confused, wondering what she's going to do. She writes her chat ID on his arm, Love Cat May, and says she wants to talk to him outside of school too. Then she waves goodbye. Kuroki stands there, wondering that she does like cats, and it suddenly hits him that he just got her contact info. The whole way home he's in a daze, thinking about how he got her contact. He boards the train, passes through another station, crosses the street, gets home, and excitedly tells his mom he got that Chihara-san's contact information, to which she congratulates him. Back at school, another girl is looking for Mai and finds her, hugging her from behind and asking what she's up to. She asks if Mai is free and wants to come to her room, so Mai agrees. Turns out this friend is Chinatsu Iwakura. She comments that Mai's nails look dull and mentions that black really suits her. She adds that her current boyfriend is way too into her and jokes about maybe giving up on dating since she just broke up with her ex. Shinatsu then wonders aloud if it wasn't better with the ex because he didn't find her annoying and was really sweet to her. She mentions she also loves Mai for always being there to listen. She notices that Mai is bleeding and asks why, to which Mai sheepishly admits she bit her own cheek. After a while, Shinatsu finishes painting Mai's nails and asks if she can take a photo to send to her boyfriend, mentioning that she did Mai's nails. She proudly boasts about how fast her current boyfriend is with messages and promptly sends him the picture. 7 seconds later, he reads her message, which makes her really happy. Shinatsu asks again if he really was better, but Mai doesn't seem too thrilled. She then says she wants to ask something, and Shinatsu prompts her to go ahead. Mai inquires why Shinatsu sent that message. She explains that they both like to keep up with what each other is doing. Mai responds that she'll give it a try, but first asks if doing so will help her get closer to someone else. Shinatsu, though initially confused, quickly confirms, yes, it will. She then inquires if Mai wants to get closer to someone. She stays silent, but Shinatsu laughs and tells her she's cute. She then decides to pick out some clothes and makeup for her while continuing to paint Mai's nails. She tells her not to worry, and feeling reassured, Mai agrees, and Shinatsu suggests they go shopping for clothes after class. Meanwhile, we switch back to Kuroki, who's at home watching TV. He thinks about watching a movie until bedtime when suddenly his phone rings. It's a notification from that Chihara-san. He sees a picture of a bowl of udon and wonders what kind of photo it is. Unsure how to respond, he decides to reply that he had fried mackerel for dinner. After sending the message, he sits nervously, waiting for a reply. When his phone pings again, he jumps in fright. Checking his phone, he sees her reply and feels a wave of relief. He finds it amusing that someone as mysterious as her eats something so healthy. Meanwhile, she seems equally taken aback by this strange exchange. The next day at school, Kuroki overhears a group of girls discussing Chihara. They're commenting on how she seems completely different now and wondering if she's okay. Kuroki realizes they're talking about Chihara-san again and that she's become the main topic of conversation at school. Given her appearance, it's no surprise people are quick to jump to conclusions about her actions. She never seems to address the rumors or try to refute them, which only causes them to become more exaggerated. He thinks she isn't the type to cause trouble or manipulate people. That's just not her style. Deciding to chime in, Kuroki says he doesn't think she's as scary as people make her out to be. He heads back into the school as the students chat about random things, like how Chihara almost fell off her bike on the way to school. Suddenly, a couple of those students approach him, asking what's going on between him and the scary girl. They seem curious, especially since the subject is Chihara, and they wonder if there's something secretive going on between them. Their imaginations are running wild, thinking of all sorts of scenarios. Kuroki thinks about telling them they went home together, but he knows that would only start another strange rumor. Instead, he decides to mention the gum she gave him. However, he accidentally blurts out, "I received a long one." The boys are surprised and mistakenly believe he received a sword from her. Kuroki expresses that it was nostalgic, confusing the boys further with his comment. They start speculating and whispering, still not understanding what's really going on between their classmates. Nothing about this situation makes any sense at all. Kuroki nods in agreement, acknowledging that the boy is probably right, and another boy chimes in, saying he's just a regular guy, completely ordinary. Meanwhile, the girl Kuroki likes is caught up in all the rumors. Kuroki reflects on how little they truly know about her, even though she does make a strong impression. He can't deny that she sometimes comes off as a bit of an airhead, but he wouldn't say that aloud, so he mentions that she likes butts. The others are even more shocked and imagine her touching Kuroki's butt. Then he remembers the time she wrote something on his arm with a marker, but the others' imaginations run wild, thinking it could mean anything like seriously writing on the body. He jokes that she really cares, and they immediately assume she wrote something like, "I love kittens" on his skin. Their whole perception of the situation gets even more chaotic, and they start overthinking things. Kuroki chuckles, saying he finds her funny, but quickly notices their expressions have gotten even weirder. Kuroki's still oblivious, but they suggest dropping the topic.